All right, welcome back to the garage. Today we are going to remove the middle cowl. I have a wire that's hanging out here, and one of my winter projects is to get that wire squared away. To do this, you've got to remove the inner cowl right here, you've got to remove the mirror, and you've got to remove this cowl to get the wire up in there. I've got a different video on the inner cowl, and I've got a video on the mirror, so I'm not going to give you a lot of detail. I'll just zip through those for you. So we just focus on this middle cowl, and that's about it. All right, let's get to it. Before I get started, I think it's important for me to tell you that I'm just a guy in a garage. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not your dad. If you break your bike, it ain't my fault. All right, let's get started. All right, let's get started with tools. You'll need a bucket for your mirrors, a bucket for your inner cowl, and a bucket for your middle cowl. That's what I do. I like one bucket for each set of parts. That way I know if I have any spare parts exactly where they came from. And I also label them with the page, so the mirrors are on service manual page 2-19, right here. Mirror removal. Inner cowl is on page 220, and it goes over to the middle cowl on page 221. You'll need a body panel pin remover. You will need a 5mm hex, T-handle or ratchet. I like ratchets. Body panel puller, and you'll need an 8mm. All right, let's get started. So if your goal is to pull the middle cowl, you don't need to take the entire inner cowl off. This whole piece does not need to come out. All you're really after is this little body panel pin right here. This is holding the other side out. So you can put that in your bucket, and now that middle cowl is ready to come off from this piece. We still need to take the mirrors off. It's also a great time to get in here and clean, good God. So the first piece of the actual middle cowl we need to remove is this guy right here. It's held in by these two bolts. Now this is held in by a series of tabs on this side, on this piece, with sots on here, and tabs on the other side. So the best way to get this out of here is to start at the bottom, grab your body panel remover, and work this guy out of that little crack there. And once it starts coming, it's just going to peel right out for you. But you can see you've got slot, 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 tab, tab, tab. So that's all that's holding this in here. So what you're trying to do when you get in here is pry these tabs on here away from this guy right here. So you're just kind of popping it out of the way by bending this piece of plastic back just a little, and it'll come right out. And there is a body panel pin we need to remove right here. And we have one bolt left holding it on. The last bolt is right here, and this is the reason you remove the mirror, is to get to this bolt. All of our pins removed, we've got our bolts removed. There's nothing holding this guy on now, except for a couple of bosses right here, here, and then there's a pin up front. This thing wants to slide forward to get this front pin out. So take your body panel tool, pop it in back here, so you can pop these bosses off carefully. And then you can slide the whole thing forward, and it will come off. Just like that. Now you get your body panel off. All right, so here's our middle cowl that we got to put back on. Real quick, you'll note that there are the 3 pins right here that are for the big grommets that on the side of the bike. And then on the nose of the bike, which is this piece right here, there is a pin right here that has to line up and goes in a hole that's right here. So you've got to get this piece on first before you snap the grommets in place. You just kind of line up the nose, put it where it wants to be, which is in that little hole. You need to watch for this little guy right here. It wants to go in that little slot there. As you pull it back, make sure you line everything up, push in, and you slide it back. And as you bring it back, you pop your grommets in. First thing we need to do is put our body panel pin back in. We'll push the center up, grab the tip, put it in place, click it in, it's back in. A couple of things to note are these guys right here. This style of tab, which these both are, is just a thin piece of metal wrapped around a piece of plastic. If you over tighten these, you will squash this plastic and destroy it. Whenever somebody did my fuel pump recall in the inside of this bike, there is one of these that the mechanic over tightened and smashed the hell out of. At some point I'll get motivated enough to rip the top shelter off and fix it. Now, this guy's a bit of a pain. It's one of the, I don't know, poor designs is the wrong word. It's just not a great experience to work on this piece because it's so thin that it damages easy. So what you want to do is line up the pins on this side first, at least in my experience, and then work these tabs back in to where they go. Now these screws go into a really thin piece of metal that flexes, so don't fight with these. They should go in easily. If you feel like you're fighting it at all, you're cross-threaded. And you don't want to get too tight or you'll squash the plastic they connect to. So it's really just a matter of being careful and patient. There we go. They don't take a lot of torque, so I just want to snug them up. All right, that part's back on. We got one more bolt up top and that's it. Last bolt is the silver bolt that goes in up top. Just like when we took it apart, we got to get our secret little pin back in here. All right, that'll just about wrap it all up. We've got the middle cowl back in place, mirror back in place, inner cowl back in place. So all the bike parts are back where they go. Not a hard job, it's literally just a few body pins and screws and you're done. So pretty straightforward. Keep your wheels down, have a good ride.